From being a collaboration between Ben Affleck and Matt Damon to Michael Jordan's character not even being in the film, here's everything you need to know about Ben Affleck's Nike movie Air. For starters, the movie is about the legendary Michael Jordan. But more specifically, it's about the iconic athletic shoes by Nike. Despite the rich history of basketball and cinema, we still don't have a proper biopic about one of the greatest basketball players of all time. I mean, sure, we have Space Jam, where he helped the Looney Tunes take on aliens, but we haven't really had an accurate portrayal of his life story. That is, until now. Sort of. And it's not directly about Michael Jordan's rise to basketball stardom, but it is about the iconic shoe that became the superstar of the sports shoe world, the Air Jordan. So we'll get to see the success story of Nike's rise from being a joke in the industry to becoming one of the biggest sports accessory brands in the world.
All right, now Michael, is this the shoe? Now, of course, we can't show what kind of shoe this is.
Yeah, that's okay. The color stand for
But
it.
is this the shoe that the NBA wouldn't let you wear?
Yeah.
Now, why wouldn't they let you wear it? Just because it's ugly, I guess, for starters.
The movie is Affleck's fifth feature film as director. I'm sure everyone knows him for his acting work, like playing Batman and Daredevil, or in more dramatic roles like the one in Gone Girl. But did you know that he's also an amazing director? He's delivered some incredible hits with Gone Baby Gone, The Town, and Argo. But get this, his newest project, Air, is gonna be something totally different from his usual crime dramas. It's not just directing that Affleck is good at, though. He's also a great writer and producer, which has earned him universal recognition and respect in the industry. And guess what? He's going to be producing Air 2. Pretty cool, right? The movie is the first project by a brand new production company called Actors Equity. It's co-owned by Affleck and one of his closest friends, Matt Damon, who also has a starring role in Air. Yup, the two besties are also acting in the movie.
You're gonna see exactly what I see.
Which is what?
Greatness.
Damon will play the role of Nike executive Sonny Vaccaro. Now, this guy is an iconic sports marketing executive. He's the one who signed Michael Jordan to his first sneaker contract. Vaccaro also worked at Adidas and Reebok, but that's not what the movie is about. Damon's character is at the center of the movie, as he goes after Jordan to create what's probably one of the most iconic collabs of all time. Way before collabs were a thing, Affleck stars as Phil Knight, the co-founder of Nike. But these aren't the only big names in the cast.
For a rookie who's never set foot on an NBA court. But who's the player? Michael Jordan.
Now, if you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about. So on February 9th, the debut trailer for Air was released, and it had some pretty exciting stuff. The trailer starts off by introducing Vaccaro, who's brought in by Nike co-founder Phil Knight. It's the year 1984, and Nike is having a really tough time. Their basketball apparel division is struggling, and they're constantly being overshadowed by their main competitor, Converse.
1984 has been a tough year. Our sales are down, our growth is down.
That's when Sonny discovers a videotape of an up-and-coming basketball player who seems destined for greatness. Who else but Michael Jordan? Sonny comes up with the idea of creating a brand new basketball shoe just for him, the Air Jordan. Though at the end of the trailer, you can see Phil being a bit worried about the name. Oh, Phil, just you wait. But that's not all. The trailer ends by introducing the rest of the awesome cast members. There's Jason Bateman, Marlon Wayans, and Chris Messina, as well as Chris Tucker and Viola Davis. Now that's one hell of a talented cast if you ask me. Jason Bateman plays executive Rob Strasser, and sports agent David Falk is played by Chris Messina. There's also Gustav Skarsgård and Barbara Sukowa as the rival Adidas couple, Horst and Kathy Dassler. Other than that, the beloved Rush Hour actor Chris Tucker plays the role of Nike field representative Howard White, while NBA All-Star George Raveling will be portrayed by Marlon Wayans. Jessica Green will be playing the role of Sonny Vaccaro's secretary Katrina Sains, and Viola Davis and Julius Tenen will be Michael Jordan's parents, Dolores and James Jordan. But the real question here is, who's playing Jordan? Well, technically, no one is playing the role of the basketball legend. It seems like the role of Michael Jordan in Air will not be played by an actor. Instead, he'll be portrayed as a larger-than-life, unseen figure whose name carries a lot of weight in the story. Honestly, I see how that works. Had there been a young actor playing Jordan, the audience might have just been caught up with his portrayal, while the story is about something totally different. It's more about his beginnings and his legacy, as opposed to his physical presence and appearance. There will be some archival footage of the real Jordan featured in the movie, though. The decision not to cast anyone in the role also has to do with the storyline. Vaccaro tries to connect the player through his family, friends, mentors, and former coaches. And in that sense, the role of Viola Davis as his mother is a very powerful one. Honestly, the minute you see her cast in a movie, you know she's owning every minute of it. Of course, Damon and Affleck are a big part of the story too. Though what most people don't know, it's actually a pretty big shift for Affleck as a director. This is the first time he's directing something that's not a gritty crime thriller. But not just that, he's also the producer of the movie. Aside from that, the original script is written by a newcomer named Alex Convery, and he did something right, because it was named the best unproduced/blacklist screenplay of 2021. But that's not all. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon worked on a new draft of the script together. These two haven't collaborated on a writing project since Good Will Hunting way back in 1997. And if that's not enough to get you excited, Air's crew also includes some other big names like cinematographer Robert Richardson, who worked on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's edited by William Goldenberg, known for Zero Dark 30, and production design is by Francois Adoui, who worked on Ford v Ferrari. So where do we get to see this seemingly stellar work of film? The old-fashioned way, in the cinema. It's interesting to note that even though Air is a production of Amazon Studios, it'll be exclusively released in theaters. It is scheduled to premiere on the 5th of April 2023. This might come as a surprise, given Amazon's strong focus on its streaming platform, Amazon Prime Video. But releasing the movie in theaters means that it'll be eligible for awards such as the Oscars. After the theatrical run of Air is over, it'll likely be added to the Prime Video library, and I really do think they're gunning for some major awards, because the movie already has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is rare to say the least. There was a special premiere at the South by Southwest Festival last week, and the critics just absolutely loved it. Affleck, Damon, Bateman, and Davis all attended the show. The director even took to the stage to talk about his labor of love.
I love this town. You know, I did my first sort of real movie here, although I wasn't sure it was a real movie at the time. It was Dazed and Confused. It was 30 years ago, 31 years ago, and I can't believe I'm that old.
He said it was the most important night of his professional career, but also just how much fun it was working with his best friend Damon on the movie. He even called it the greatest job he's ever had.
Well, it's really like the movies that we loved growing up. Like, it's really dependent on the writing and the acting and the kind of things that made us want to be actors in the first place. And it was just a wonderful story.
Affleck also pointed out that Viola Davis is just the greatest actor ever. In fact, she also said it was an honor to play the role of Jordan's mother.
You know, you're flattered at first, and then the next second is pressure to play the woman who basically is the orchestrator of this great athlete's life.
On the other hand, Bateman was just stunned by the audience's reaction to the movie, and just how Affleck and Damon took an American business story and turned it into a rock show. That is pretty cool. Well, that was all you need to know about Ben Affleck's Nike movie Air.